Welcome back to Cryptographics, and in this video we're going to be talking about the first token so far that has actually launched on top of TITANX called DRAGONX. So let's get right into it. This is a super cool token. It is taking a completely different approach than some of the other models that we're seeing being built for other tokens. And it's relatively simple. If you are familiar with Hex and the Maximus ecosystem in terms of like Lucky, Deci, Base, and Trio, and even Maximus, those tokens are like a similar version of DRAGONX, but it didn't have a buy and burn. And that's what basically makes DRAGONX special, and actually going to make the DRAGONX token super probably rare and valuable in the future. That's just speculative, but we're going to get into why I think that. I'm not just going to throw that at you and just let you chew on that and that be the end of it. So let's get into what is DRAGONX. So DRAGONX is a protocol that is designed for you and I to, during the first 84 days, to go in and we can mint DRAGONX. Now, the first 2 weeks are done. So I apologize because I haven't had the situation where I could actually stream or make videos even for that matter. So this is coming to you a little bit late. Now, mind you, it's not the end of the world. So if you're just hearing about this from this video specifically, you, in the first 2 weeks, were able to get a 1-to-1 mint from your TITANX for your DRAGONX. Now you're going to put in one TITANX and you're going to get in 0.95 DRAGONX. So 5% reduction. So DRAGONX.win is where you want to come if you want to check out exactly where I am right now and you want to follow along. So if you wanted to come down and mint DRAGONX, you can type in the amount here. So let's say we're going to put in 1 billion. You can see that you're going to put in 1 billion TITANX, or you're going to say, I want to mint with 1 billion TITANX, and I'm only going to get 950 million DRAGONX. That's because we have this reduction here that's happened, okay? So every week from here on out, there's going to be a further reduction. And I'm going to get into the specifics of all that in a minute once we go through the white paper real quick, but I want to give you a quick overview of what's going on here. So you can come here, you can mint. There's 3 days left before this ratio actually decreases even further. So that's not all DRAGONX does, though. You don't just come in here and you mint tokens. So this is where we can talk about why it says stake TITANX, why it says claim ETH, why it says buy TITANX for the DRAGONX vault and buy and burn DRAGONX. So the really special thing about DRAGONX is if you've been in TITANX for a minute, or if you're hearing about it for the first time, cool. But if we were to go to app.titanx.win and we are to look at the, where is it here? The payouts. If you go ahead and you stake TITANX, you're going to be able to get a portion of these 8-day, 28, 90-day, 369-day, and 888-day payouts every time they pay. So one of the big things, though, that was being noticed by some of the developers, and I believe it was the guys behind DRAGONX, was that some of the ETH, or a good chunk of it, which is totally fine by me. Like, it's your money, you do whatever you want with it. But they noticed that a lot of this ETH wasn't coming back into the ecosystem to create miners, which stimulates the rest of TITANX. So what they set out to do was they set out to create DRAGONX, which does exactly like you and I would do with staking, but a little bit more special. So what it does is it acts like a whale. So if we go back to DRAGONX, currently there's been 5.5 trillion DRAGONX minted. So the total supply, so the total supply of DRAGONX is 5.5 trillion. Now, I believe there's a larger number of TITANX that's, so 7.4 trillion. And there's a little bit of a backstory to this, but I'll leave that there for now. And so there's 7.4 trillion TITANX that this protocol has. So the next question is, what did it do with it? Well, it comes over to TITANX, it goes to stake, and it stakes everything. Okay, so it is essentially, and it's max staking everything. So it currently owns, let's see if we can figure it out here. If we go to the stats and we go to the BOT protocols, so there's 7.5 trillion. Okay, so that's like $9 million basically. Maybe between $8 and $9.5 million because I'm not going to do the math here. But this protocol alone, okay, if we exclude the buy and burn, the user burned, and the LP fees burned, the total supply that currently exists between liquid and staked for just DRAGONX alone is almost 25%. maybe a little bit less, call it like 24 some odd percent. So of the total staked position, it's looking about, let's actually take the liquid out. It's got about 35, 36% of the staking pool at the moment. So that means that each of these payouts, 36% of them is going to go to DRAGONX. Now, there's a couple things you might think about here. Okay, well, one, if you're staked, you're going to think, damn, like that really sucks. I'm getting diluted, right? Because someone basically a whale came in, dumped 7.5 trillion TITANX into the staking pool, and they basically made it so everyone else gets less. How could that possibly be a good thing? Well, immediately in short-term thinking wise, and I mean, it's not bad to think short-term, but I mean, for the immediate future, it's a negative. But if you go a little bit further down the line, this is where DRAGONX was designed to perform. It wasn't necessarily designed to make everyone feel good about themselves right here, right now, especially if in the staking pool. But what it's designed to do, and this is the next step here, is every time it gets ETH from these payouts, someone can come here and they can go and buy TITANX for the DRAGONX vault. So I believe it's about 90% of all of the ETH that comes in goes and buys TITANX, okay? When that TITANX is purchased, 50-50 split, okay? Half of it is staked, and this is the important part, okay? Half of it is staked. Every time someone comes in here, every hour or so, I believe it's callable every hour, with 0.67 ETH. So every hour, someone can come in here and click buy TITANX, pay a little bit of gas, and they're going to go and grab some TITANX. And the protocol, every time it reaches either 100 billion or this timer reaches the point that it can actually engage, then more TITANX is going to go back into the protocol staked. Now, what do you think that does? I'm going to pause for a moment here, just let you think about that for a second. But I want you to think about it like this. If you take away the liquid, the user burned, the buy and burn, and the LP fees burned, when this continuously expands, okay, if your stake is constantly growing in the staking pool, what does that mean for you? That means your payouts are going to go up. So there's a cycle here. DRAGONX earns ETH, which buys TITANX, and then restakes it, which earns more ETH, which means it gets more TITANX, which means it gets to stake and get more of the staking pool, which earns more ETH. It's a crazy, crazy cycle. And over time, this protocol has the potential to really do some work with TITANX. Now, there's a couple caveats here, though, because where does this ETH come from? ETH comes from miners, okay? Right now, if we were to go into the protocol and you want to create a 100-day miner, it's not exactly a high ROI. And if we go to the Dune Analytics made by Mike Dean, shout out to you, my man. If we come down here and we look at the mining as of late, well, if you understand the T rank bonus, which I'm not really going to get into on this or in this video, this hasn't exactly been a lucrative period for miners, because what previously happened was you could come in here with a ROI of, let's say, I don't know, 50%, let's say 100%. Let's go 140 days, 60, fine, close enough. And when the mining was hot, okay, when everyone wanted to mine, the T rank bonus would essentially mean or make it from all this mining that you would actually get double or way more tokens than you're supposed to get, because the T rank gives you additional bonus based on miners being created on the or at any point, and miners coming in after you. So you could supposedly, or you could basically have a estimated TITANX at the end of the miner as about 800 million, but when it ends, you got like 1.6 billion. So your ROI is doubled at these prices. And if prices go up, well, you're even more in profit. And if prices goes down, it's kind of like a hedge, right? But the problem here is that the price currently, if we zoom in here at 5 zeros, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros, 1191, is not exactly lucrative for mining at the moment. And as you can see, this is why the mining is low. I mean, we had this crazy spike in mining, and then everyone was in profit, and hence why we got that big downward trend. And now we're finding a kind of like a little bottom right now, possibly. But this is really what we're seeing. And so this is the caveat to DRAGONX, is that there must be ETH coming into the protocol, so that way that DRAGONX can earn the ETH from the staked TITANX that it has in TITANX to earn ETH to buy TITANX and then restake it. Now, that's huge, and it's a big understanding. You know, you've got to make sure you understand TITANX a little bit, and you got to understand a little bit of the future about what is important for TITANX. But assuming that the miners are actually coming in, something changes. There's a ton of protocols being built currently at the moment, and I'll share with you guys a little tool if you stick with me to the end on where to see all of them. And I'm probably not going to talk about every single one of them on this channel. I'm going to try to really talk about the best of the best in my perspective. So you probably won't see as many as all there are, but I will definitely try to bring you guys what I think are the best. And that's why DRAGONX is part of this, because I think DRAGONX is very, very well built, and I think is an awesome protocol for TITANX. But we're not done. So why is the DRAGONX token important, and why would anybody want to participate and give up their beloved TITANX? Because we all know how rare TITANX is going to become in the coming years. And if all these protocols start burning TITANX, well, TITANX could become extremely rare very quickly, and even sooner than we all thought. So why would you want to burn your DRAGONX? Why would you want to burn your TITANX? Here's why. After 84 days, so I think it's the middle of April or sometime in April, there's going to be no more possibility for you and I to mint DRAGONX. The minting phase is going to be completely cut off. And if we go to the white paper here, I will show you just how this works. So if we scroll down, and they have a nice white paper here, so you can see all the data and all the write-ups of everything you need to know here, which is just at the top of the page. You can see white paper here. So if we go over to the DRAGONX white paper, and we can see here that week 1 and 2 are 1-to-1, week 3 is 9.5 to 1 or 0.95 to 1, and then it just decreases like crazy all the way to week 12. You're only getting 50% of the value of your TITANX essentially created over in DRAGONX. And so this is descending quite quickly, makes DRAGONX much more difficult to get. And what will really start to happen is what could start to happen is when DRAGONX has its minting phase complete. No more DRAGONX can be created. That means this supply that we're seeing at the very top here of 5.5 trillion is only ever going to go down. Okay. So if the supply can only ever go down once it inflates, right, which is only 84 days to completely inflate, right, and they can only decrease, that's pretty good information to have in your back pocket as to why this thing could potentially do very well. Okay. So if there's no ETH in the protocol, I mean, we got bigger problems than that, than just DRAGONX. But if there's no ETH coming in the protocol or not enough, this buy and burn could be slow. The ratio, the price of TITANX to DRAGONX might not be as different as we would hope, and DRAGONX may not perform as expected. But on the flip side, if some of these other protocols coming out really get people involved with TITANX and really start to ramp up the price, well, we get some miners going. DRAGONX gets more buy and burn, buys more TITANX off the market. It's a feedback loop, right? The higher the price potential goes, or the higher the price goes, and the more miners come in for the TITANX protocol, the more DRAGONX can do work and buy up the price even more. Okay. Now, a couple things here. These swaps, or these cap per swap, so 0.67 ETH is callable every 1 hour to buy TITANX to the protocol, and every 53 minutes there's 28 or 0.28 ETH that's callable to buy and burn DRAGONX. And so just as a quick recap, what this means here is that someone clicks this button, and the smart contract is designed to then take ETH and to go onto probably Uniswap, I would assume, into the liquidity pool, and then buy TITANX, and then 50% of that gets staked. 50% of that is now ready to rock to go buy and burn DRAGONX. And then this protocol goes, buys TITANX, and then buys DRAGONX afterwards. And everything that it buys in DRAGONX, it burns or deletes, if you want to think of it like that. It's like a buy and delete, right? Then the supply is constantly just shrinking. So in a nutshell, this is DRAGONX. And I wanted to bring you guys this so you can understand that if TITANX maintains its course and the supply begins to shrink from people participating in other protocols, which there's a ton of coming, and some that I'm actually really excited about, which we'll talk about in a future video, then DRAGONX could do extremely well, okay? And the TITANX in the vault for DRAGONX, every time the stake ends, so in 3,500 days, it just gets restaked. I have no idea what's going to happen in 3,500 days, but just know that that can't come out. That's stuck in there. The only thing it can do is earn ETH, buy up TITANX, stake it, and then buy and burn DRAGONX with that as well. It's all it can do. So I think I'm monologuing a little bit here, but I really wanted to make sure you guys understood the power of DRAGONX, and I would highly recommend learning more about it. The white paper is here. If you read it, you'll be able to see exactly what's going on within the tokenomics and really understand all of the pieces to this. Like there's even diagrams here if you want to look at this and get a little bit of a better understanding if what I was saying wasn't quite clicking for you. But this is it in a nutshell. Do some more research and let me know in the comments what you think, because I actually really like DRAGONX and I'm really hoping soon. I know Eric and I have been in trying to figure out a time to stream together. So be on the lookout for a stream coming hopefully very soon with Eric, the founder of DRAGONX, and myself. And we're going to go deep into he's building other things, what that might be, the future of DRAGONX, and all sorts of other stuff, including TITANX and just crypto stuff and liquidity and everything, because the dude's got a lot to say and I love his perspective. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you liked it. Make sure you are subscribed and you hit the notification, the little bell notification, to make sure you get notified anytime I go live or release any more videos, as I will be releasing a lot more over the coming month plus. So if you want to get coaching, all my stuff's in the bottom. My book is in the link in the description, and the link for DRAGONX, even MEV blocker, which is at the bottom here, which I highly recommend everyone looking into and adding. Definitely go and add that. Oh, and one more thing, guys. Before you go, if you want to mint and you want to add DRAGONX to your wallet, simply just copy this to your clipboard. So if you come down to the bottom, you can see this OX96A5399, this DRAGONX vault. That's the DRAGONX token. So what you're going to do is you're going to copy this to clipboard. Then you're going to open up your MetaMask and you're going to go import tokens, custom token, paste that sucker in there, and you're going to see DRAGONX pop up. Click next and then import, and boom. Now you have your DRAGONX in your wallet. And that's it. I'm all over the map today, guys. Sorry about this. Okay, TITANX Hub. If you want to see all the projects coming to the ecosystem, come to TITANXHub.com. Again, created by the man, the myth, the legend, Mike Dean. This dude's an animal. He's building so much stuff. But it'll show you every single protocol known that's coming out on top of TITANX at some point. If there's white papers, if there's websites, if there's Twitter, Telegram, all that stuff. It's all here. Thank you, Mike, and I appreciate all that you do. So anyways, guys, I've just absolutely rambled in this video. So thank you for watching. I'll see you guys very soon in the next one. Peace.